Welcome back to another edition of Biro Sports Talk. I'm your host, Biro. As always, I usually share these videos at the beginning of every show, and I kind of forgot about that actually. That's kind of bad of me. So let's get these videos going. Uh, do, 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 do. Trying to get the show viewed all over the place. So, you know what it is. There we go. We got viewers. We're live. There we go. Let's dive on into sports while we can. So, first things first. Last week, we did some picks of our own for the NFL. Because, we're great people. We do a good job. I'm already being requested to do other things. Of course I am. Of course I am. Of course I am. Alright, but anyways, moving right along. As I was saying, first week we made some picks. Went 10-6. That's one of my best starts ever. 10-6. Some disappointing losses are pretty much the obvious disappointing losses. The Vikings not doing well against the Packers. Eagles collapsing against Washington. Colts losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tom Brady doing very terrible against New Orleans. 49ers losing to the Cardinals. And Dallas not being able to put up points against the Rams. Probably the best pick would be Chicago over Detroit. I did pick Chargers over Cincinnati, which Cincinnati, man, that was close. You guys should have had that game. But I also had Kansas City, Seattle, Buffalo, New England, Las Vegas, Baltimore Chargers, we already mentioned, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee. So, week 2 of the NFL season. Because it's week 2 of the NFL season. Let's talk about it. Looking at it as we are, tonight you got Cincinnati versus Cleveland. I'm picking Cleveland only because of one thing, experience. I think Cincinnati is going to be a very good team that ends up being 6-10 or 5-11 this year. Cleveland, though, needs this win to be a team that's 10-6, to be a team that's 8-8, to actually prove they belong in the playoff picture. So I'm picking Cleveland. Next, I got Chicago over the Giants. I got Dallas over Atlanta. Got Green Bay over Detroit. Tennessee over Jacksonville. Minnesota over Indianapolis. Buffalo over Miami. San Francisco over the Jets. Rams over the Eagles. The Steelers over Denver. The Buccaneers over the Panthers. Cardinals over Washington. Kansas City over Chargers. Baltimore over Houston. The big one I'm picking, Seattle over New England. And, of course, New Orleans over Las Vegas. Now, if I count them up, there's a lot of home games there. But after going 10-6, I'm very, very confident in what happens next. Now, in the NFL, let's talk about some of these things, man, because, you know, it's very interesting how week 1 played out for the NFL. So let's start with the NFL because that's what we talk about here on Biro Sports Talking Sports. Let's do it. So, as I was saying, very impressive for week 1. If I had to pick a all-moment performance, you either have to go with Aaron Rodgers destroying the Vikings, or you have to go with Trubisky throwing 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I mean, there's a lot of in between. There is a lot of in between. But that specifically was spectacular to me. But if you want all-around performance, you got to go Aaron Rodgers. Another performance that was highly, highly talked about. Washington, the football team. What happened, Philly, man? I mean, come on. You were up 17-7 and then 20 unanswered points. Might have been 27. I can look it up real quick. It's not one I watch. Obviously, I was watching the Bears because that's who I watch. Come on, just need a box score. It'll show me everything I need to know. There we go. Yep, it was 27 unanswered points. Eagles went out to a 17-0 lead. The Eagles basically were 99% winners at one point. And sure enough, Washington, the football team, came back. Hey, Katie, what's up? But the strangest thing is the Washington football team is number 1 right now in the NFC East. That is very, very, very unexpected for the season. Just keeping my eyes peeled. Saints, the only team. Talk to you, Chris. What's up, Chris Morrow? Glad to see you chiming in. What do you know? Facebook's turning out tonight. Oh. But this week, I think we already went through the picks for this week. We did. This week, I expect a lot more interesting battles. Baker versus Burrow is supposed to be a very fun game tonight. Of course, going Browns only because of experience. Joe Burrow looking... I've heard 2 different stories. I've heard he looked like a veteran pro at times, and he's played a lot like a rookie at times. All I know is he almost won that game, and that's all that matters. All that matters. But let's talk about a different sport now. Let's talk about the collapse that was the Clippers. Yes, I'm talking about the 3-1 collapse that everyone in the sports world is talking about right now. No one saw Kawhi, Paul George, just not getting past the Nuggets. Let me tell you, the Nuggets are making a case. And the thing Leave my guy Kawhi alone. Honestly, I don't think Kawhi is the one to blame. I think it's just Paul George not stepping up. Let's be honest. Kawhi works both ends. He had one offensive off night, but he needs Paul George to do his part in this. So really, that's why I would blame Paul George. But besides blaming teammates, of course, you got to look at these Nuggets. So just because I'm curious now, I'm going to look up last year's playoffs. I know the Nuggets, I believe, were a 3 seed last year. Yeah, and of course they show. There we go. See, the Nuggets last year. If I can find the actual standings, which I don't think I will. I'm pretty sure they were a 3 seed. But the Nuggets beat the Spurs last year. They might have been a 2 seed. I'm pretty sure it was a 3. But they did end up losing to Portland last year in a very close series, 4-3. They beat the Spurs in a 4-3 series. And you know, this year they've gone 4-3 and 4-3 again. Just doing whatever it takes. Exactly. Jokic could easily give him problems. The thing is, how does Anthony Davis respond to... He's an athletic big man, but he doesn't look athletic. Jokic can do all these things. He's one of the best passing big men. But you're asking, is Jokic going to be too much? I don't know if he's going to be too much. You might see Dwight Howard play more, JaVale McGee. Names. You'll see maybe they get some more minutes than they have been. You know LeBron's going to take it to whoever is in that position. I've had to look from Tuesday night. Yeah, box scores what I want to look at. So LeBron essentially is the small forward, of course. You're looking at a Jerian Grant, Paul Millsap if he's a power forward. It's a very interesting lineup that they play. I know Michael Porter Jr. will be interesting. Is it Tony Craig? Torrey Craig, so not who I was thinking it was. And of course you got Jamal Murray, who Rondo will have to guard. It's a very interesting matchup because the only common strength will be Jokic and Anthony Davis. I mean, you got Mason Plumlee. Michael Porter Jr. is very talented. Paul Millsap's pretty good, very good normally. I'll make sure I say his name right. I'm pretty sure it's Jerian Grant. Of course, it has me click on Jokic. That's Craig. Yep, that's who they're going to make me. Man, can't have good technology ever. For being a tech guy and a basketball guy, struggling. Here we go. Jeremiah Grant. There's just So many people's common names. So Grant, very talented guy. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Because looking at this, he can be a 10 and 5 guy. Gets you 10 points, 5 rebounds, about it. And those are on good nights. Winning nights. Good nights. If I had to pick a winner, though, I do think the Lakers either get it in 6 or the Lakers get it in 7. I don't think they'll sweep them. For whatever reason, the Nuggets just have that ability to push teams this year. And the strange thing about the Nuggets is that they're a team on paper you don't expect to do good every year, but they'll do good every year. You know what I'm saying? They will find a way to do good. Do well. Proper English, well. But as we look at the East, I did get to watch this game 1. Heat, Celtics. Yeah, the Celtics just kind of gave it away, I felt. I thought they had the game pretty well locked in just to have the game fall short. Oh, man. All sorts of things all over the place. Holy smokes, man. As I was saying, though, they're playing right now, the Heat, Celtics. Tyler Hero's been doing very well in his minutes. Looks like Duncan Robinson finally has found his range again. And it's not that he hasn't been scoring. It's just when I've watched them, he's struggled to shoot. He'll hit 1 or 2, but that's about it. He's not hitting the crazy amount that they're expecting of Duncan. Because I look at this, you got Bam, you got Butler. Crowder's been doing very well. Crowder had 22 last game. Dragic at 29. Like I said, Duncan only had 6. Hero had 12. Nunn had a 3. Iguodala had a 3. Olynyk had 4 points. And is it Derrick Jones Jr.? I'm pretty sure it's Derrick Jones Jr. Yep, Derrick Jones Jr. was pretty much put in to be tall. Like, even the roster I look at that they have for their starting roster, you got Dragic, Robinson, Butler, Crowder, Adebayo, and I don't think it's that short. You might not have a traditional power forward, but technically not a traditional center either, but still a very talented team. Celtics, again, I felt like they let it go last time. They did very well. And they still almost sent it to another overtime. Kemba had 19, but he was 1 for 9 from three-point land. Marcus Smart had 26 points, was 6 of 13. It's crazy good shooting, man. Wish I could have that good of shooting. I do think I would prefer the Celtics to win. But think of the storyline, Miami Lakers. Think of that storyline. That's a very interesting team right there. Very interesting team. Moving on for now. Big Ten football's back. I know a lot of the people watching the show saw that post or saw a version of that post. For everyone. Oh, man. But here's the thing that I find very interesting right now. Baseball season's winding down. Yes, you heard that right. Baseball season's already winding down. Two teams have already clinched playoffs. You got the Dodgers, you got the White Sox, of all teams, clinching playoffs. Here's the thing, though. There's going to be a ton of teams clinching this year, specifically this year. A team that just needs to find their groove are the Indians. They've lost 8 in a row. That is their streak right now. 8 losses in a row. They have a 98% playoff percentage. The Rays and Yankees are expected to go. The Twins are expected to go. Athletics and Astros are expected to go. But the Indians and Blue Jays are right there on the outskirts looking to also clinch. Now in the National League, like I said, Dodgers only team to clinch. Got a little more disparity. You got the Braves very close. Cubs are supposed to clinch. Reds are a surprising 52%. And I say surprising because you got the Cardinals right there too, looking like a 70% clinch. Marlins might make it. Phillies might make it. Padres are expected to make it. Baseball's going to be interesting. The playoff race is interesting. A lot of teams are at 50. They're supposed to play 60. So you're looking at the final 10 games. And looking around at some scores, the Red Sox beat the Marlins. The Rays beat the Orioles. Blue Jays and Yankees just started. Giants will probably beat the Mariners. Mets just started and are already on top of the Phillies. And Angels beat the Diamondbacks. Because, sports. Like I said, though, the Big Ten is going to have a season after all. They're going to start October 23rd, 24th. That weekend. I've yet... Oh, I like this sound. Ho. I haven't heard this, but I love the sound of this right now. The MAC will meet Saturday to review a possible fall football season. Everyone wants fall football. The MAC might as well join in, right? Don't want to be the team that didn't do fall football. I mean, all the teams in the area are the same as the teams in the Big Ten. They might as well play fall football. They're looking at a 6 to 8 game season just because of where things are. They said there's been a real positive movement in the last 24 hours, aka the Big Ten are doing it. We might as well do the same. I honestly can't wait because I would love to watch some OU football. Go Ohio. But, as always, as we get down to an end, yeah, it's been a strange year. Let's start with my first thing that's strange about this year. I'm only in 2 fantasy leagues this year. I'm not in my traditional fantasy league. I'm not in a NFL.com league. I'm not in multiple. I'm just not in multiple ESPN leagues. I'm in two leagues. They're on two different sites. One is the one I run here for Biro Sports Talk. But as I said, it's interesting. Good luck to everyone this weekend who do have fantasy. Good luck to the players, the teams that are playing this weekend. Next week is actually the return of the men's basketball league that I was playing in over winter before the pandemic. I guess it would be almost spring, not quite spring. But I'm glad it's back up. Glad I'll be playing again. Glad to get more kind of workouts going. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you next week, if not sooner. Just because I remembered I put it into the title, let's talk about streams. So, reason why streams didn't happen last weekend. Been grinding on 2K. Will I stream 2K again? Soon. Reason why it's soon is because I finally got my Mamba Edition VC items, everything. It's brilliant. I love it. It will probably end up being streamed. Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. Probably get back into that here soon as well. GoldenEye's been taking a back seat, but we'll have to see if we dive into GoldenEye once more. Again, thank you everyone who did tune in. Katie, Chris Morrow. And I will see you guys next Thursday, 7 p.m. If I can find the mouse. There we go. Once again, see you guys next week.